and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. It's very nice to have you here, and we're going to. I'm going to have two callers that come in, and we're going to do some readings for them, which will be lovely. But before we do that, I would like to just have a little sort of talk about things, all things spiritual, and I was thinking about what I could talk about, and I think that what came to me is sort of loving one another, and being kind to one another, and I think sort of like at the moment that isn't always that's not always possible or easy for us to do, particularly if people sort of disagree with what we're talking about, or we have a different viewpoint or a different idea, and sometimes we can be not be loving towards somebody despite our differences. And I know that when I speak to my guides and all of them, they would all agree that it's about love. Everything is about love that we should have for each other. And I know also that probably everybody that's listening knows somebody who wasn't loving to them. It's not unusual to not be following what the spirit world want for us. And I think that it is difficult. It's not easy to always be loving, especially when somebody has been particularly cruel to you or hurtful to you. It is very difficult to sometimes be forgiving or be loving to them. But if we are, there was somebody who said something to me once that don't rent space rent space in your brain with regards to sort of all the hurt that has been caused to you from another. Because I think that if we are all guilty of this sometimes, that if somebody hurts us, we can sort of regurgitate things in our mind and go over and over and over and over again. And I think sometimes all we're doing is really hurting ourselves. And I think that the ability to just let things go is a real gift to ourselves. And again, it's not that easy. But it's a gift to ourselves, and I think sort of today we should be very sort of loving towards ourselves, and if we can love ourselves, then one of the biggest gifts that we can do is we can let things go, because that is being kind to ourselves. And if we can do that for ourselves, then it will be easy to be loving to other people and bring about harmony. Can you just imagine if everybody was like this? It seems like sort of utopia. We would all be very nice to each other, and we would all live in a world that was sort of kind and loving to each other. That would be just wonderful. But I also think that not only that, so it's about forgiveness, and forgiveness is also a hard thing to manage to do. And I know that sort of when I do lots of private readings, and when people do readings with me, I often come up against sort of situations where people are really, really hurt by another's actions, and it has affected their whole lives sometimes. For instance, it can be a big one is parents or family members that can be incredibly sort of hurtful at times. But then obviously, some people are lucky and they have the most wonderful parents and siblings, but that's not always the case. And sometimes we have a lot of hurt that sort of penetrates our mind. And I always think, I had a dog that sadly he passed away last year, and actually it's a year and a half ago now. And I used to call him a love dog, because he just used to sort of have those eyes and just want to, and he'd go up to people and he'd just give them love. And what was so special about him is that if I was doing a private reading and somebody was coming to my home and to have a reading with me, they would be sitting in the chair, and if they were getting upset, Alfie, my dog, would just go running up to them and just sit by them and giving them love, and he'd put his head on their lap and his paw on their lap, and it was just so sweet the way he was. He was definitely a love dog, and in a way, we should learn from that, shouldn't we? But anyway, I think we should go to some callers, and I believe we have Ralph in Rochester. Are you there? Minnesota.
Yes.
Rochester, Minnesota. Hello, how are you this evening?
Good.
Good. And I am a medium, and I can connect to loved ones, or I can sort of look for guidance for you. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
Guidance and relationship.
Right. So to sort of, would you like me to focus on a particular relationship or just generally?
Yeah, particular.
Sorry?
Just a relationship that I have with my children's father. His name is
Right.
Paul.
And you're not in a relationship with him at the moment, I take it from what you just said. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would say with him is that I feel he's very keen to be in your children's lives, and I feel that he wants that, and so I feel like now, interesting enough, I almost wanted to say he doesn't want to neglect his duties, but then I just got this feeling that sometimes he might. But I just feel that he does love his children and does want to be in their lives, and I feel that I can feel almost like you're looking at him and he's looking in a different direction. And I feel that you would be, I feel like you still have love for him. And I would that make sense to you?
Yes, it really resonates with what I'm going through right now.
Right. And I also feel with him is that he's not a bad person. He's a good person, but I feel like it's almost as though things just fell apart in a way that, and I feel like there's a bit of a selfishness on his part with this
Yes.
as well. And I
Yes,
feel that
because,
he wasn't being considerate to the marriage, and I feel that he looked. I feel like he's looking outside of the marriage as he goes about his life when he was married, and I feel that um, it's like he's sabotaged things. He's messed it up. Does that make sense to you?
yes, it does.
And I feel also with him is that he's quite a proud man, and he's somebody that would struggle to admit his failings or admit that he was wrong. And I feel with him that he would rather carry on as it is than actually say, I'm really sorry, I've messed up. Does that ring true with him?
Yes.
And I feel also that he has, okay, he's recognized after the split up, he's recognized, and I feel like he's thinking in his mind, oh, and I want to use a word that's not really repeatable
No, it's okay.
on air, but it's just a swear word, like oh dear, I'll say. Oh dear. But you get my point, don't you? Oh
No,
dear,
I
I've
get it because I know how it's going. What you're saying right now is really true.
because I feel like he feels that he's messed up. He realizes he's messed up, but I feel that he's actually struggling to. He doesn't know how to put this right without, um, you know, almost acknowledging that he's done wrong, because he'd
Hmm.
rather not admit to doing wrong than having back what is actually so precious for you. Because I know when I dig deep into his heart, I know absolutely categorically you're the only woman that truly he's loved. Because
Really?
I know that there's been like situations feel that he um, there's been a situation, but I feel like he he looks at that situation and sees, like he's looking at it and feeling uh like you're not the same as my wife. You're not the same. And I but he's stubborn and he's proud and he's not going to admit to anything.
Yeah,
Does that
he's actually with someone, but he tells me all the time, he's like, she's not the same, she's not the same. What me and you have is nothing compared to, like what he's with right now. He always tells me that all the time, but some days
yep.
he shows me he loves me so much, but then he's still stuck with her, or at least that's how he makes it seem, like he's still stuck.
And this is and I feel also that there have been some arguments with him and the woman that he's with. And I think, because
Hmm.
I said earlier that he's looked outside of the marriage, and that was my way of saying that's what he's done.
Hmm.
But I feel with him that he I feel like when I look at the relationship, I feel like there's been some friction, and she's actually quite a jealous person, and I feel that
Yes,
she's very jealous, and she doesn't like him having anything to do, any contact with his past.
yes,
She's
that's true.
very possessive over him. Um, Whereas with you, you're somebody that would, you cheerfully give him freedom, and you weren't possessive in that way. And I do feel that he is going to ask to come back. I feel like he will eventually pluck up the courage, and I feel that he will ask to come back. And I feel also that ultimately what's going to happen is it's going to be your choice whether you're in a relationship with this man or not. This is going to be your choice. At the moment,
Really?
you're incredibly wounded, and you are hurt, and it's like, on the one hand you have love for him and you would love to have him back, but when he opens his mouth and says anything nice, you can't help but feeling a bit cross with him. And and I feel like it's not really getting to a point where you two are being relaxed with each other and admitting your love for each other, and you having forgiveness for him, because in a way you need to forgive him in your heart in order for you to have this man back. And I feel
Okay.
that's the bit that you're struggling with, because I do think he'll come back if you want him.
Okay.
How does that all sound? Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you?
No, it makes a lot of sense. It's just like there's some days I'm really confused. Like I love him so much, but then he puts into me so much. Like, do I want him back, or is it just my heart playing with my emotions? It's
You're
been going
hurt.
on for 5 years.
Yeah, you're hurt. You're hurt, and you're angry, because you see, the thing is that what happened is that when he walked out, he set you off on a path of a real difficult, challenging path. Life wasn't easy for you, and it's like I can see you almost juggling balls. It's like you're having to be a mum and a dad and everything all in one, and there wasn't enough money, and I feel like there's a lot of hurt and anger and frustration inside you. And
Yes.
the only way that you can embark, if you want to embark on a relationship with this man, is if you chose to be completely and utterly forgiving, because that is the bit that's stopping the two of you move forward. Now, what you've got to
Okay.
remember is God gives us free will. He absolutely gives us free will, and you have that free will. But and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like what my guides are saying to me is that you have the free will as to whether you go back to him or not, but it's you who's putting in the blocks.
The thing is, my heart wants to, but my mind tells me, I'm just going to step back into something that was unhealthy. That's where I'm
Yeah,
confused, so I continue to wait and wait and wait.
yeah, yeah. But I feel with him that I think that you would just have to say, if you said to him, um, okay, let's give this another go. I think he'd be through that door like a shot. And you know what? One of his biggest misses is the children as well. He misses not
Mm-hmm.
having them properly in his life in the way that you would if you were a father living in their home. I just feel that he he has massive regrets, but and I feel like he's a stubborn man, he's a selfish man, and I feel also that there were quite a few issues in the marriage, but I feel like they all stem from his selfishness. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that when if you decide that you want to have him back, I do feel that you will ultimately what I'm being told by my guides, if you choose this, now remember, this is your choice, but if you choose it,
Okay.
you will not regret the decision because he has learnt from his mistakes and he is not the man that you were living with all those all those um, all those years ago.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask a question?
Well, it's I've got another caller waiting, and I've only got 9 minutes left, so I'm going to have to go.
Okay, okay,
But um,
okay,
but listen, my name is Gail Moffat, and I'm on Facebook. Just go and find me, and if you want to ask a question, I'll answer it for you on there.
okay, okay. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, and good luck with any decision that you make. And just remember, the ball is in your court. Okay, thank you very much. Right now, we have Leslie in Chicago, Illinois. Are you there, Leslie?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good. What a cheerful voice you have. I like that. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
I'm a medium, and that means I can either connect to loved ones or I can look to help give you some guidance about something in your life. Now, I know that we've only got about 9 minutes of the show left, so where would you like me to focus?
Relationship and how it's gonna go into my life with a person named Courtney Clay.
Sorry, I slightly didn't hear you. Are you talking about a relationship that you're in or one that you would like to have?
One that I would like to have because I don't know if I'm in a relationship. It's kind of confusing.
Oh, you're confused with a potential relationship, whether you're in it or not.
Yes, and his name is Courtney.
Oh,
Cour. Yeah.
Tney. Right. Okay. Um, right. Would I be right in saying that this man is young? No,
Like 40.
I'm. He's 40. Okay. Hmm. Would you say that he behaves in a young way? Like there's a
I'm
little
not
bit of
sure.
immaturity with him?
Yes.
Because he feels, when I link him with his energy, he feels young, and generally that's because of the way they are as a person. And I feel like he doesn't know what he wants, does he? He's all over the place, and he's one moment he's wanting to have, sort of be in a relationship, and the next minute it's not. It's like he's blowing sort of hot and cold, and I feel also with him there's a little bit of selfishness with him as well. And I feel like there's a part of him that likes to have his own space and his own sort of life, and sort of almost like he doesn't like the concept of committing. And I feel like he wants that sort of the warmth of a relationship, but doesn't want the commitment of it. And I feel that's sort of how he is at the moment. However, um, huh, has Courtney? I believe that he's lost someone to spirit, that has really knocked him down or hurt him over the last little while. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, he had somebody that passed away.
Yeah, yeah. Because and I feel that this because it suddenly came to me. This is why he's all in a mess. This is why
Yes.
he's not really, but it's like until he gets over that, he's not going to be in a position to be a committed man in a relationship. But what I would say is that he's very grateful for your support. And I feel that's all he can cope with at the moment, your support and your love and your kindness. And if you want this man in your life, I think that you need to give him time to get to the point where he is over the hurt and pain that he's experiencing in his mind and in his heart. And once he's got to that point, and if you've been supportive and kind through that period, I feel that he would want to sweep you off your feet and be in a committed relationship for the rest of your life. Because around him, not many people are showing him the love that he needs and the support that he needs. He doesn't have a great deal of love around him, and he's really, really hurt to the core from losing this person that's special in his life. And I just want to say that it sounds tactical. But what I would like to say is that if you bide your time and you're kind and loving, you'll have this man for the rest of your life. But if I want you now, where are you? Why have you been like this? Why are you treating me like this? Then you'll lose him, because he's not in a position to commit to anyone because of the pain that he's experiencing. And also there's guilt in his mind. I feel like there's a lot of guilt because he feels that he should have been there more. He should have been supportive more himself, and he wasn't. And I feel like he feels that he let this person down. And I feel like, he's basically in a bit of a mess, emotionally. And we all experienced times in our life when we can be like that. But because he's going through this stage in his life, I can assure you that he's emotionally up and down, and so therefore not in a position to have the maturity for a relationship. But he will get over this, and I can see that there is spirit gathering around him and supporting him. And as they do this, I know that they are wanting to heal his heart, because his heart is exceptionally wounded. And I want to say that once he's healed, Be that person that's loving through this, and you will have him for the rest of your life. And he will end up being the best person that you could possibly ever have in your life. But if it's too difficult for you to support him during this challenging time in his life, and I get it, because he's volatile, he's up and down all over the place, and probably, quite frankly, annoying at times. So I get it. But if you can sort of look past that and be that loving person and support him through this time, then I feel absolutely you will gain an absolute gem, a diamond, a person that will be the best person forever. How does that sound to you?
I like it. I really do like that, because I've been praying. I do. I've been praying for him. I also been praying for his heart to be healed and everything. Good. And I also been like, supportive. We haven't communicated or talked like that in a while, but I do send him like text messages saying be safe, be careful at work and stuff like that. And he sent me one text message saying that it's a possibility that we might see each other this weekend or something like that, but never get around to the point to see it and stuff. But I still communicate with him time after time and stuff like that.
I do feel that you will see him shortly. I don't know whether it's going to be this weekend, but I can feel that you will see him, because as you were talking, I was just being shown him coming to your door, and he's got this big grin on his face and a big smile. But there's tears in his eyes regularly, tears in his eyes.
Yeah, I've been supportive too. Back in September 4th, 2000, September 4th, last year, he lost his brother. His brother passed away in a bathtub, and that really hurt him. His brother name was Rick, but they called him Nick Clay, and he died in the bathtub, and he found his brother in the bathtub.
Well, listen, my name is Gail Moffat. We've come to the end of the show, but find me on Facebook, because otherwise we're going to get cut off in a minute. But I thank you for that explanation, and just know he's a good person, and he will get through this, and he will be in your life.